Nell Benson's shocking return, a General Hospital game-changer that could reshape Port Charles forever. The world of Port Charles is about to be turned upside down as one of General Hospital's most controversial characters makes a stunning return from the grave. Nelle Benson, presumed dead for nearly 5 years after her dramatic cliff fall, is set to resurface at the most explosive moment possible right in the middle of a heated custody battle that has already torn the Corinthos family apart. Her unexpected appearance promises to send shockwaves through the courtroom and beyond, as she stakes her claim on the son she lost and the life she left behind. The fall that wasn't fatal. Nelle Benson's apparent death in 2020 marked what many believed to be the end of one of General Hospital's most complex and polarizing storylines. After years of scheming, manipulation, and psychological warfare against Carly Corinthos and her family, Nelle's final confrontation seemed to seal her fate permanently. The dramatic cliffside showdown between Nelle and Carly, which occurred after Nelle had kidnapped her biological son Wiley, appeared to conclude with Nelle's tragic plummet to her death. The circumstances surrounding that fateful night were both dramatic and deeply emotional. Nelle had taken Wiley to a remote cabin, desperately clinging to her last chance at motherhood and revenge against those she blamed for her suffering. When Carly pursued her into the woods, their final confrontation became a life-or-death struggle that ended with Nelle hanging precariously from the cliff's edge. Despite Carly's apparent attempt to save her, Nelle slipped from her grasp and fell into the ravine below, seemingly ending her reign of terror forever. What made Nelle's death particularly significant was the timing and the revelation that followed. It was only after her presumed demise that the truth about her biological connection to Nina Reeves came to light. She was one of Nina's twin daughters, separated at birth and raised under traumatic circumstances that shaped her into the vengeful woman she became. This posthumous revelation added layers of tragedy to her story, suggesting that much of her pain and destructive behavior stemmed from a lifetime of abandonment and abuse. The official confirmation of Nelle's death came when Detective Harrison Chase identified her body, bringing what appeared to be closure to her chapter in Port Charles. Chase's identification carried particular weight given his personal history with Nelle, having been romantically involved with her during her time in Florida before understanding the true extent of her manipulative nature. For years, residents of Port Charles have lived with the assumption that Nelle's threat was permanently neutralized. The miracle of survival and memory loss. However, recent revelations suggest that Nelle's story is far from over. According to emerging storylines, the fall that should have killed her instead became the beginning of an entirely different chapter in her life. Rather than perishing in the ravine, Nelle was discovered by compassionate local residents who, unaware of her criminal history and the chaos she had left behind in Port Charles, took her in and nursed her back to health. The trauma of the fall had devastating consequences for Nelle's mental state, resulting in complete amnesia that wiped away not only her memories of recent events but her entire sense of identity. This memory loss represented a cruel irony. A woman who had spent years plotting revenge and manipulation was reduced to a blank slate, unable to remember the very people she had sworn to destroy or the son she had fought so desperately to claim. During her years away from Port Charles, Nelle lived as an entirely different person. Without the burden of her traumatic past or the consuming desire for revenge that had defined her existence, she experienced something resembling peace for the first time in her adult life. Her caretakers knew nothing of her true identity or the destruction she had left in her wake, seeing only a woman who needed help and compassion during her recovery. This period of amnesia also raises fascinating questions about the nature of identity and redemption. Was the vengeful, manipulative Nelle truly gone during these years, replaced by someone capable of genuine human connection? Or were these darker impulses merely dormant, waiting for the right trigger to resurface? The answers to these questions may prove crucial as she re-enters the lives of those she once tormented. The return of memory and purpose. The gradual restoration of Nelle's memory represents a turning point that promises to reshape the entire landscape of Port Charles. As fragments of her past began to return, so too did the burning sense of injustice and desire for revenge that had previously consumed her life. The woman who had lived peacefully in anonymity began to remember the son she had lost, the family she believed had wronged her, and the unfinished business that had driven her to such desperate measures. This memory restoration process was likely neither quick nor easy. Psychological research suggests that recovering from traumatic amnesia can be a complex journey. with memories returning in unpredictable patterns and emotional responses that may be even more intense than the original experiences. For Nelle, remembering her identity meant confronting not only her past actions but also the pain and abandonment that had motivated them in the first place. The timing of her memory's return could not be more significant. Current storylines reveal that Port Charles is in the midst of a major custody battle between Michael Corinthos and Willow Corinthos over their children, Wiley and Amelia. Michael's recent return from Germany, where he had been recovering from severe burns, has already disrupted the status quo and led to a contentious legal battle that has divided the Corinthos family. Into this already explosive situation, Nelle's return promises to add an entirely new dimension of complexity and conflict. The custody battle earthquake. Nelle's decision to return to Port Charles and assert her parental rights represents perhaps the most dramatic intervention possible in the ongoing custody dispute. As Wiley's biological mother, her legal standing could potentially supersede even the most carefully constructed custody arrangements. The fact that she has been legally presumed dead for years only adds to the legal and emotional complexity of her reappearance. Current spoilers suggest that Nelle's return will occur at the most dramatically opportune moment during the actual custody proceedings. The courtroom scene, already tense with the battle between Michael and Willow, will suddenly be transformed into something far more explosive when the woman everyone believed to be dead walks through the doors. The shock value alone of this moment cannot be overstated, as every person present will be forced to confront the impossible reality of Nelle's survival. For Willow, Nelle's return represents a devastating blow to her maternal identity and legal standing. Having adopted Wiley without his biological mother's consent, Willow's parental rights could be seriously challenged by Nelle's reappearance. The emotional trauma of potentially losing the child she has raised and loved as her own would be compounded by the knowledge that her biological twin sister relationship she only recently discovered is the source of this threat. Michael's reaction to Nelle's return will likely be equally complex. As Wiley's biological father, he has his own complicated history with Nelle, including their romantic relationship and the deception surrounding Wiley's birth. Michael believed for years that his son had died, only to discover that Nelle had orchestrated an elaborate baby swap. Her return not only threatens the custody arrangement he has fought to secure but also forces him to confront and resolve feelings about their shared past and their son's future. The ripple effects through Port Charles. Nelle's return will send shockwaves far beyond the immediate custody battle, affecting virtually every major character and relationship in Port Charles. For Nina Reeves, the situation presents an impossible dilemma between her two daughters. Having recently built a relationship with Willow after learning she was one of her biological twins, Nina now faces the prospect of her other daughter, directly her biological child, returning to claim her own maternal rights. This family dynamic creates a particularly cruel situation for Nina, who has spent years searching for her children only to find them in conflict with each other. Her natural maternal instincts may be torn between supporting Willow, whom she has come to know and love, and Nelle, whom she never had the chance to raise or understand. The decisions Nina makes in this situation could define her relationships with both daughters for years to come. Carly Corinthos will undoubtedly be among the most affected by Nelle's return. Their antagonistic relationship was central to many of General Hospital's most dramatic storylines, and Nelle's reappearance threatens to resurrect old conflicts and create new ones. The fact that Carly was present during Nelle's cliff fall, and even attempted to save her, adds layers of complexity to their renewed confrontation. Carly's reaction to discovering that her greatest enemy has survived and returned will likely drive significant storyline developments. The broader Port Charles community will also feel the impact of Nelle's return. Characters like Jocelyn Jacks, who received Nelle's kidney donation years ago, Chase Harrison, who has his own complicated history with Nelle, and numerous others who were affected by her previous schemes will all be forced to confront the reality of her survival. Each of these relationships carries the potential for renewed conflict or unexpected alliances. Legal and emotional implications. From a legal standpoint, Nelle's return creates unprecedented complications that extend far beyond simple custody arrangements. Having been declared legally dead, her resurrection will require extensive legal proceedings to restore her identity and rights. The question of how her presumed death status affects previous legal decisions, including any that were made regarding Wiley's custody and adoption, will likely become central to the unfolding storyline. The emotional implications may be even more far-reaching than the legal ones. Wiley himself, now old enough to understand family relationships, will be faced with the confusing and potentially traumatic reality that his biological mother, whom he may not remember or may have been told was dead, has returned to claim him. The psychological impact on a child caught between multiple parental figures, each with legitimate claims to love and care for him, represents one of the most heart-wrenching aspects of this storyline. For the adult characters involved, Nelle's return forces everyone to confront unresolved feelings and unfinished business. The years of presumed closure are suddenly stripped away, replaced by the immediate reality of ongoing conflict and competition. The emotional toll of this revelation will likely drive character development and relationship dynamics for months to come. The future of Port Charles drama. Nelle's return represents more than just the resurrection of a single character. It signals a fundamental shift in the power dynamics and relationship structures that have defined Port Charles in recent years. Her biological connection to both Wiley and Nina, combined with her antagonistic relationships with the Corinthos family, creates a web of competing loyalties and interests that promises to generate compelling drama for the foreseeable future. The storyline also raises fascinating questions about redemption, identity, and the possibility of genuine change. Has Nelle's period of amnesia and peaceful living altered her fundamental nature, or will her return to Port Charles inevitably resurrect the vengeful, manipulative persona that previously defined her? The answer to this question may determine not only her own fate but the futures of everyone connected to her story. As General Hospital continues to explore these complex themes through Nelle's return, viewers can expect a storyline that combines legal drama, family conflict, and psychological complexity in ways that honor the show's tradition of sophisticated storytelling. The custody battle that seemed straightforward has now become a multi-layered exploration of parenthood, identity, and the enduring power of family bonds, both biological and chosen. The shocking return of Nelle Benson promises to be one of General Hospital's most impactful storylines in years, with consequences that will reverberate through Port Charles long after the initial surprise has worn off. Next, we will dive deep into the electrifying and perilous saga surrounding Sonny Corinthos, as whispers of a climactic showdown with a shadowy nemesis loom larger than ever. The streets of Port Charles are buzzing with tension, and the stakes have never been higher for the iconic mob boss. As we unravel the latest twists and turns, prepare yourselves for a roller coaster of danger, betrayal, and retribution that promises to keep us glued to our screens. Let's explore the intricate web of events that could lead to Sonny's ultimate confrontation, and speculate on the fates of those caught in the crossfire of this deadly game. The penthouse explosion, a strike to close to home. The drama in Port Charles took a devastating turn with the unforgettable penthouse explosion, a vicious attack clearly aimed at Sonny Corinthos. In a heart-stopping moment, it was Michael Corinthos, Sonny's own son, who bore the brunt of the blast while Sonny and Jason Morgan narrowly escaped to safety in the hallway just moments before the detonation. Michael suffered life-threatening burns, teetering on the edge of death in a harrowing scene that left fans reeling. The hospital room where he fought for his life became a somber reminder of the ruthless enemies lurking in the shadows, willing to strike at the heart of the Corinthos family to get to Sonny. Witnesses recall the sheer chaos as emergency responders rushed Michael to the ICU, his condition critical with every passing second. This wasn't just an attack on a building, it was a personal assault on the very fabric of Sonny's world, a message scrawled in fire and debris that no one he loves is safe. The emotional toll of this incident cannot be overstated. For Sonny, seeing his son battered and broken ignited a firestorm of guilt and rage, a potent mix that fuels his every move now. The corridors of General Hospital echoed with the anguish of family and friends as they waited for updates on Michael's condition, each beep of the heart monitor a fragile thread of hope. This wasn't the first attempt on Sonny's life, but it was undoubtedly the most personal, cutting deeper than any bullet ever could. As Michael slowly regained consciousness weeks later, his eyes burned with a silent question: what was responsible for this nightmare? The answer remains elusive, but the thirst for justice has never been stronger in the Corinthos clan. This tragic event has set the stage for what could be the most explosive chapter yet in Sonny's long and tumultuous history. A second brush with death, danger lurks at every corner. As if the penthouse disaster wasn't enough, Sonny faced another chilling assassination attempt during a seemingly routine visit to a Los Angeles hospital. This time, it was Brick, Sonny's loyal right-hand man, who intervened just in the nick of time, thwarting the deadly plan with split-second instincts honed by years in the underworld. Picture the scene: a quiet hospital hallway suddenly erupting into chaos as Brick tackled an armed assailant mere feet from Sonny, the glint of a silenced pistol catching the sterile light. The incident, though averted, sent shockwaves through Sonny's inner circle, a stark reminder that his enemies are growing bolder, more desperate, and perhaps closer than ever before. Rumors swirl through Port Charles that this was no random thug but a hired professional, possibly linked to the same mastermind behind the penthouse blast. This second brush with death has intensified the paranoia gripping Sonny's world. Every shadow hides a potential threat, every unfamiliar face a possible killer. Brick, ever the stoic protector, has doubled down on security measures, implementing round-the-clock surveillance and personally vetting every individual who comes within arm's reach of Sonny. Yet, even with these precautions, there remains thick with unease. Could the next attempt succeed where others failed? The question haunts not just Sonny but every member of his family, each of whom knows they could be collateral damage in this deadly vendetta. The Los Angeles scare has galvanized Sonny's resolve. If he's to survive, he must strike first, rooting out the serpent in his garden before it strikes again. The clock is ticking, and the streets of Port Charles whisper of an imminent reckoning. Michael's return, a catalyst for vengeance. With Michael now on the mend and back in the fray, the dynamics of this deadly chess game are shifting dramatically. The scars he bears, both physical and emotional, are a constant reminder of the price he paid for his father's enemies. Once a man torn between loyalty to family and the desire for a cleaner life, Michael now seems consumed by a burning need for retribution. Late-night conversations in the Corinthos compound reveal a steely determination in his voice, a vow to stand by Sonny's side until the perpetrator is brought to their knees. Fans can almost feel the tension radiating from Michael as he paces the family estate, his thoughts a tangled web of anger and strategy. His near-death experience has forged him into a warrior of sorts, ready to dive into the darkest corners of Port Charles to protect what's left of his fractured family. Michael's return isn't just a personal turning point, it's a narrative catalyst that could propel the storyline into uncharted territory. Could this be the moment when father and son unite in a rare display of solidarity, setting aside past grievances to face a common enemy? Insiders hint at heated strategy sessions between Michael, Sonny, and Jason, where plans are drawn not just for defense but for a calculated offensive. Michael's involvement adds a layer of complexity. His youth and emotional rawness contrasts sharply with Sonny's heart and pragmatism, creating a dynamic that could either strengthen their bond or drive a deeper wedge between them. As Michael steps into this battle, one thing is certain: his role will be pivotal, perhaps even the key to uncovering the identity of the elusive foe pulling the strings. The final trap, Sonny's gambit to unmask the enemy. In a daring move that could spell either triumph or disaster, Sonny is rumored to be crafting an elaborate trap to draw out his mysterious adversary. Imagine Sonny, ever the chess master, feigning vulnerability by scaling back his visible security, making himself an irresistible target in the eyes of his would-be killer. This isn't just a gamble, it's a meticulously planned operation, with Jason and Brick working behind the scenes to ensure every angle is covered. The plan involves staged public appearances, cryptic messages dropped in underworld channels, and even a staged fallout with key allies to paint Sonny as isolated and ripe for the taking. The goal? To lure the masterminder, their most trusted assassin, into the open, where Sonny can finally look his enemy in the eye and demand answers. This high-stakes maneuver carries immense risks. If the trap fails, Sonny could find himself at the mercy of a killer who has already proven their cunning. Yet, if it succeeds, it could be the breakthrough he desperately needs to dismantle the threat once and for all. Speculation abounds about who might be behind the curtain. Could it be Jen Sidwell, the ruthless warlord with a long-standing grudge against Sonny, or someone closer to home? A betrayal from within his trusted circle. The underbelly of Port Charles is rife with theories, from a disgruntled former associate to a rival mob family looking to seize control of Sonny's empire. Whoever it is, Sonny's trap is designed to extract not just a name, but actionable intelligence, the kind that could end this war before it claims more lives. The tension is palpable as fans await the outcome of this audacious play. A family united, the Corinthos legacy at stake. At the heart of this storm lies the unbreakable, if often strained, bond of family. Sonny knows that true safety for himself, for Michael, for everyone he holds dear can only come by severing ties with the mob life that has defined him for decades. But before he can step into the light, he must face the darkness one last time. This final confrontation isn't just about survival, it's about legacy, about ensuring that the Corinthos name doesn't become a synonym for tragedy. Michael's potential alliance with Sonny and Jason in this climactic battle symbolizes a passing of the torch, a chance for redemption, and unity in a family long plagued by conflict. Picture the three of them, standing shoulder to shoulder in a dimly lit safe house, mapping out their final stand with a resolve that speaks of shared blood and shared pain. This storyline also shines a spotlight on the emotional undercurrents that have always made General Hospital a fan favorite. The idea of Michael, once a reluctant participant in his father's world, now embracing his role as a protector adds a poignant depth to the narrative. Will this battle heal old wounds, or will it unearth new ones as the cost of vengeance becomes clear? The writers seem poised to explore these questions, weaving a tapestry of high drama and raw emotion that promises to captivate viewers. As an unintended victim of this vendetta, Michael's stake in the outcome is deeply personal, making his involvement not just logical but essential to the story's resolution. Rory Gibson's stellar portrayal, a new Michael for a new era. Amidst the chaos of plot twists and near-death experiences, one thing stands out: Rory Gibson's remarkable performance as the recast Michael Corinthos. Stepping into such an iconic role is no small feat, but Gibson has brought a fresh intensity to Michael, blending vulnerability with a simmering rage that feels utterly authentic. From his hospital bed scenes, where every grimace spoke of unspoken trauma, to his recent fiery exchanges with Sonny about the path forward, Gibson has made the character his own. Fans have taken to social media to praise his nuanced portrayal, noting how his chemistry with the veteran cast, particularly Maurice Benard as Sonia, adds a new layer of realism to the family dynamic. Gibson's interpretation of Michael as a man reborn through pain has resonated deeply, turning even casual viewers into ardent supporters of his journey. His ability to convey the internal conflict of a son torn between love and resentment for his father is nothing short of masterful, promising more gripping moments as the storyline unfolds. Upcoming episodes are set to showcase even more of Gibson's range, with spoilers teasing intense confrontations and emotional reckonings that could redefine Michael's place in the Corinthos saga. It's a testament to Gibson's talent that he's not just filling big shoes but carving out a unique space in the hearts of General Hospital devotees. What lies ahead? And covering the hidden adversary. As the pieces of this deadly puzzle slowly come together, upcoming spoilers suggest that Sonny is on the verge of unmasking the hidden adversary who has plagued him for far too long. Whether through his daring trap or an unexpected betrayal within enemy ranks, the identity of this foe is poised to send shockwaves through Port Charles. Will it be a familiar face, someone whose grudge has festered in secret for years, or a complete wildcard, an enemy Sonny never saw coming? The possibilities are endless, each more tantalizing than the last, and the anticipation is building to a fever pitch among fans. One thing is certain: the resolution of this arc will be a turning point for Sonny and his family. The quest for vengeance, while necessary, comes with a heavy cost, and the emotional fallout could linger long after the final shot is fired. Stay tuned to ABC General Hospital for the latest updates on this riveting storyline, as every episode brings us closer to the truth. Will Sonny triumph over his unseen enemy, or will this battle be his last? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure: Port Charles will never be the same. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the thrilling world of General Hospital. Keep your eyes peeled for more spoilers, updates, and exclusive insights right here on our channel. Until next time, stay safe, and let the drama unfold.